And next case is State of Kansas versus Kevin Paul Bayless, 23 MR 55. Good afternoon, Mr. Bayless. You're present before the court on a fugitive information whereby it is alleged that you are wanted out of the state of Oklahoma, county of Delaware, and this was for a felony charge in case number CF 2022-37, grand larceny. And that's the reason for your appearance here today before the state of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
And now, Mr. Bayless, the court makes inquiry. How do you wish to proceed on this? Have you considered waiving your right of extradition, going back to Oklahoma? Are you wishing to have the process play out in regards to the extradition process and the exchange of governor's warrants, or how are you thinking about proceeding?
Well, I'm not 100% sure how that works. However, my wife has done some research and actually read the police report that was filed in this case. And the officer that reported it used the name Kevin Bayless, which the way he said it was, the way he wrote it up was, it was later determined that that was the name that was given from the lady that was supposedly being robbed, and described the man as someone with brown hair. I've been bald for 5 years. Described him as a neighbor and who drove his tractor over to her property. I can provide tons of evidence that I was a pastor in Galesburg, Kansas at the date of this occurrence, and can verify that. I've never owned a tractor, and he was attempting to steal, I guess, cattle panels and fence posts in this attempted robbery. He had argued that they had an agreement, that she was going to sell them to him. And then when the police went inside to speak with her, she said that was not the case. And so they asked him to leave. The police left. He then came back and took all the property. The thing that concerns me, and this is either a case of stolen or mistaken identity, because everything in the report only said Kevin Bayless. That was the name that they gave. And supposedly this guy's mother was there, and she was the one, I think, that gave the police the Kevin Bayless name. Well, 3 or 4 times it was mentioned Kevin Bayless, Kevin Bayless. The warrant is for Kevin P. Bayless, which I'm assuming the police did a search in the Oklahoma database to try to find Kevin Bayless, in which they found a Kevin P. Bayless, and the address on the warrant is an address that was my address 21 years prior. And I know that they searched through the driver's license database because they have my driver's license number at the bottom of that warrant. I think they gave that name. They searched, the only Kevin Bayless they found was Kevin P. They've listed an address that was 21 years ago when I lived in Oklahoma, and that was the last time I had an Oklahoma driver's license. I am not this guy. I am a pastor in Leon, Kansas. I can get 100 affidavits to my character. I've never stolen a thing in my life. So I know within a day or two, I can have everything gathered to prove to me that I'm not this guy. But I don't know what my options are to pursue that.
Thank you, Mr. Bayless. Can you advise what church in Leon, Kansas are you currently the pastor?
Leon Christian Church.
Thank you. Mr. Bayless? Any objection to OR bond, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, this is a case where Oklahoma has already set a bond at $2,500. Looking over this felony warrant, it would appear that the defendant is declining to is not prepared to waive extradition. So I'm wondering if maybe this matter should be set over and counsel should be appointed.
Well, the court orders a bond of $2,500.
I can pay that.
Well, wait just a minute. $2,500 OR bond, $2,500 own recognizance bond, and subsequently, is there a particular date and time for reappearance that you're suggesting, Mr. Regier?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so once he posts bond, do you want to just make note of his address, email, and phone number?
Well, Your Honor, the notwithstanding what the defendant has alleged, the fact is that this is a felony warrant out of the state of Oklahoma. So the state would if the defendant is not prepared to waive extradition, the state's only suggestion at this time would be that the matter be set over and that counsel be appointed if indeed the court is prepared to pursue along those lines.
And what well, okay, just so we can keep track of this particular case, let me ask you, Mr. Bayless, once again, how long have you been located as the pastor at the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ in Leon, Kansas?
Okay, specifically, it's not the Disciples of Christ, just the Independent Christian Church.
Independent Christian Church.
Yes, and I started filling the pulpit there last June, so June of 2022, and
June
have
of 2022. Okay.
been there concurrently.
Okay.
I understand. I understand if I mean, it's all you have to do is read the public record, and the description of the guy says it's not me. And one other thing he said was his supposedly my mother, Kevin Bayless's mother, was there. My mother has been in Joplin, Missouri since the beginning of COVID in her retirement facility and has never been out. She never went out during all of 21 and 2022. And she was supposedly in the area and having conversations with them. So it's just not me.
Well, based on the court ordering a $2,500 OR bond where you can sign your own recognizance, the court is going to go ahead and appoint counsel, Jim Watts, on this case. And the court will set this matter for review on what's called the preliminary hearing control docket before myself. Court will give enough time to review everything that exists, and that would be on Monday, July 24, 2023 at 2:30. Monday, July 24, 2023 at 2:30. Now that would be by Zoom hearing at that time. Zoom hearing at that time, and you need to be present at either Mr. Watts's office in El Dorado or at the Butler County Judicial Building, one of two places.
Do I have to stay incarcerated that whole time?
No, the court has ordered you can sign your own bond.
Okay.
You can sign your own bond. The story that you have presented to the court has been convincing in regards to it appears to the court at this time that there may very well be a mistake as to the individual that has been ordered to be held out of the state of Oklahoma, particularly Delaware County. Subsequently, that's the reason the court has ordered an OR bond. You can sign your own recognizance. The court also has established with you that you have employment at the Leon Independent Christian Church as the pastor there. Subsequently, the court does grant you that bond, and court has even appointed counsel to look into this matter for you and to represent you and to bring this back before the court to clear matters. And that's the date why that's set for July 24, 2023 at 2:30 back before myself by Zoom hearing. Okay.
Very
now,
good.
Let me get a little bit more information. What is your current address?
In Leon, Kansas, 67074.
Okay. And do you use an email address?
I do. It is at iCloud.com.
Okay. And do you use a phone number?
316.
Very good. And Mr. Watts is located in El Dorado, Kansas, the court-appointed attorney. You may make inquiry to him in regards to this matter as you deem appropriate.
Will I receive something in the mail stating with his name and that kind of thing? Or, oh, he's got it right here for me.
I think they will probably give you a card that gives you his name, address, and phone number.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Your Honor,
Yes.
before the court concludes this matter for purposes of the record, I wish to have it noted on the record that I am not in favor of this 2,500 OR bond, as the $2,500 bond has already been ordered out of the state of Oklahoma, and it would appear to be certain jurisdictional concerns on that point.
Okay. The court at this time is ordering reappearance before the court on the case 23 MR 55. Subsequently, the court finds that this court would have the ability to set appropriate bond for Mr. Bayless after being advised in the premises as to the fugitive information. And subsequently, the court does find that the state of Oklahoma has ordered a $2,500 cash or surety bond. The court does not adopt that bond in that amount for purposes of the next appearance back here before the court. That would be on July 24, 2023, and that would be at 2:30 by Zoom, as previously set forth on the record.
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further, Mr. Regier?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
And Mr. Bayless, do you have any questions?
Just so I still need to come up with a $2,500 bond. Is that correct?
I'm ordering that you may sign on your own recognizance the bond in the amount of $2,500.
Gotcha.
I am not ordering that you post $2,500 cash. I am not ordering that you hire a bail bondsman to post the bond for
Very
you.
good.
You
Thank
may
you, sir.
sign your own bond.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Court is, anything further, Mr. Regier?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Court is in recess.